Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome. Welcome back to Turntable Currents. As you can see, this is Turntable Currents number 1. If you followed me over the years, definitely not number 1, but the new improved number 1. I guess we're starting over. That's pretty much what's happening. So, like I said, this is my first video of the year, being back from many years, and I kind of got the itch again to come back here and start showing you guys what's in these shelves in my collection. Some of this stuff I'm going to show today. It's not everything I've been grooving to the last couple months, but it's been a little stack that I've set aside. But I've been enjoying some that I probably showed in the past, but as any lover of music, collector, at least in my mind, you should go and revisit your friends here in your shelves. So that's what I've been doing, man. I've been just pulling as you know, whatever I've been feeling, and taking a nice trip. And that's all this is. But some of these are new. Some of them are old. Some of them are new. But it's just it all fits in the collection, you know. So let's get started, man. You know what I'm saying? First, I'm going to show a CD box set I was excited to get a few weeks ago. Absolute one of my favorite bands of all time, groups, I guess. The Pentangle. This is a nice box set of their first 6 albums, I believe. It's got the Pentangle, Sweet Child, Basket of Light, Cruel Sister, Reflection, and Solomon's Seal. I've been listening to this a lot driving to work. I got a nice little drive, but this was put out in 2017 by Cherry Red Records. I believe it's a UK, but they all come like albums. You know, like they did in the format of the album with a nice book. But there's some gatefold CDs. But anyways, Pentangle means to me, they're a very natural of the earth group, man. And winter and autumn band to me. This is when I've really got on the journey with these guys. I was fortunate to see Bert Janisch play. Before he passed away, it was just him and a guitar, and just absolutely one of the best performances I've ever seen. I was very, very fortunate to see him play. I wish I could have seen the Pentangle. This is one of those groups. If I had a time machine, I'd go back to see. But just a beautiful group. And a beautiful box set here, so check that out if you're interested. So yeah. So anyways, the first one we're going to get into is an album that I've grooved to over the years. Came out, I believe, in 1972, if I'm correct. It's kind of just one album of this group. It's the only album they ever put out. And it was just, it's just kind of a rock, little blues tinge here and there, but always fits kind of into that psychedelic scene. Natural album, and really dig it. This is by Cannabis, joint effort. This is an Italian press on a Karma. Came out in the 90s. But a Karma, I will say, that is one of my favorite reissue. Always been one of my favorite reissue record labels. And I will also say, make the statement, me personally, I will show a lot of represses here and there. Not a whole lot. I do have represses, but in my mind, it's better to have a repress than not to have it at all. And over time, I do come across original pressings. Of course, I pick them up if they're one affordable, but mostly if they're in good condition. Because there's some that I've seen that I've never seen before, and I'll pick them up. But if if you ever see that out in the wild, Cannabis, joint effort. Like I said, it's more of a rock, bluesy, folk, psychedelic tinge album. But how could you not say hello to that cover? I have. The next one I got that I've been listening to. I listened to this last night. This is a nice compilation that came out a few years ago. This is on Just Like You, Sly Stone's Flower, 1969 to 1970. Sly Stone came out in 2014 on Light in the Attic. And what this is more of a compilation of like 45s and some studio leftovers, you know. But very great and groovy. What this is, man, is this is when Sly Stone started changing the sound, and I believe Sly and the Family Stone were still together, but this is the drum machine, man, and so you get a lot of that groove, a lot of that direction of where he was going, and so very great to have that. Sly Stone actually, he's from, and I believe, he's from a town around here in Texas. Before it all began. This is one I held off for years. I don't know why, because this is an absolute excellent album. I have this copy, but I found one recently that I've been looking at that's in just pristine condition, so I may pass this along to somebody. But this is Colors. This is Atmosphere by Colors. 1969, I believe, release. Very on the psychedelic side, but I was afraid when I first got this years ago that this was going to be kind of like a pop psych, you know, kind of on the lines of like Yummy Yummy Yummy, that kind of stuff, like kind of like really psychedelic cover, but you get into it and you kind of are let down a little bit, but you still have them in your collection. But I was wrong. This is some really good stuff, man. This is on the Dot label. This is just a great, beautiful condition copy. But it's got a little ring wear and a bend on the front. But like I said, I may be hitting that dig for a better copy. So I'll keep this in mind. Another one of my favorite albums that I've had in my collection forever. But I pulled this out the other day because I felt like jamming out. 1970 release of Cactus. This is more of a, people like to throw that in the kind of psych realm, but it's more of a hard rock, blues rock band, just jamming, kick ass. I really dig all their albums. This came out on Atco, Atlantic Company. When you get bands like thanks to Jeff Beck, Led Zeppelin, Mickey Mose, Rod Stewart, kind of just that's what kind of really brought my attention this, like I said, years ago. And also I always look for little messages that they write on here. This album should be played at high level. So definitely just a great album. So if you ever see this out, man, it's getting hard to find for some reason. I'm always looking for a better copy. I always try to replace and try to get copies with less ring wear. This doesn't have much on there, but it plays beautifully, and I'm glad it wasn't partied out too much. Recently, I've been I should be showing some more, but I picked up pretty much the whole collection of Hot Tuna, and I'm still getting some of their 80s releases here and there, but these are always in the $1 bin, the $2 bin, $3. So one day I was out and they had all their albums that I didn't have, $2, $3 range. So I got to pick them up, man. Yorma and Jack Cassidy of Jefferson Airplane. Absolute wonderful band. And I kicked myself because years ago they came and played a small theater here and I didn't go see them. This is probably one band I haven't seen any of the members of, like Jefferson Airplane, core bands, but this is a 1971 release. And this features Papa John Creech that, got into the later Jefferson Airplane, I guess after Marty left, which rest in peace, Marty. Big, big sad story with Marty Ballin. But anyways, this is just in great, perfect condition on RCA Victor. But do yourself a favor, man. If you don't have hot tuna in your collection, and you dig psychedelic blues and rock, folk, hot tuna, man. I think what always kind of turned me off back in the day was the name. I don't know, but I absolutely dig Jack Cassidy and Yorma Kakuchun, or I'm not sure you're supposed to say his name, but yeah, as Bill Graham would say, the Scandinavian Playboy, or whatever he used to call him. But yeah, another one of my favorites I pulled out recently, ZZ Top's first album. This is the actual London before they remastered, like in the 6-pack of the 80s drums. But this is an absolute wonderful blues album, blues rock album, and this is one of my groups, and sinfully, this is one group I've never seen live, believe it or not, growing up and living in Texas all my life. But I did get to see Billy Gibbons play right in front of me when he the first show of the reunited Moving Sidewalks. I got some wonderful photos of him that I was just taking right there, him and the group. But yeah, ZZ Top's first album. And speaking of first albums, I pulled this out the other day on one of the members' birthdays, and then the next day was the 50th anniversary of this album. This is Led Zeppelin 1. Definitely a must in any rock record collector's collection. Blues rock, tinge of psychedelia. 1969 release. I can't believe it's 50 years, man. Time is moving so fast. It seems like yesterday albums like this were just, 25, 10, 20 years old, stuff like that. But a wonderful masterpiece. So yeah, dig that and put that in your collection. Another one of my favorites that I've pulled out recently just to kind of meditate. This is the Love Forever Changes. A great psych folk album in my opinion. Just a wonderful. It brings a certain spirit and feeling to you, man. Unfortunately, I lost my original copy, and this is a repress on Sundays from, I don't know, back in 2001, I believe. But all the same, man, you must have this in any psychedelic collection, any record collection out. Really, I mean, there's not one song on here that I do not like and I don't play through. It has a certain mysterious capture. It captures the spirit, and it puts a mysterious spell on you. And Love Forever Changes, just a wonderful, wonderful album. So check that out. Another repress, early, I guess it was like a 90s or an early 2000s repress from the same label. This is 2001. J.K. and Company's Suddenly One Summer. Absolute wonderful album. This dude, J.K., he trekked from Las Vegas to Vancouver, and he was only 15 years old. And this was early 1968. I think this came out in 1969. But this is another must album, that psychedelic album you need in your collection. Foolfully, man. I found an original of this twice on some record digs, and at the time I passed them up, man. And $35, but they're getting hard to find originals, and stupid. I think what had happened is I had $200 worth of records, and But what's another 35, 40 bucks? Definitely, I'm keeping my eyes for an original. There's a lot of these that I need originals. Not a lot, but I have several that I've either lost or had damaged, stolen over the years, and or just played them out. But this is one. The one particular Fly really has Strawberry Fields vibe to me. My favorite Beatles. Yeah. So if you ever see that, whether it's the repress or the original, pick it up. This is one I listened to in high school. Definitely had a lot of memories. Saw this band on this tour. They were the last band to play to this festival, and it was just a stoned out experience. But this is back to 1994. Bush, 16 Stone. I don't know. This is one I don't listen to a lot, but I do have it. I pulled it out the other day. I was feeling nostalgic for my high school youth. This came out my freshman year of high school, and really inspired. When you're playing in bands, I had a lot of friends that were more into like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and as I was. But when we were playing in bands, I really was going in the direction of the psychedelic movement, the Beatles, the weirdness, and it's interesting because I have a lot of those recordings, and it blows my mind of some of that stuff. But this is definitely one of those albums that we'd get in the car and drive and listen to. It's always on the radio. Another one came out in '93. I have a repress of this, but recently I found this on a dig, perfect condition, original press for like $12. So of course I'm not gonna leave that behind. I remember this vividly when this came out. I was on the road and I picked up this album, but I just remember that picture just gave me the sense of warmth and gave me kind of inspiring to start writing music with my friends, and we pick up our acoustics and play. But again, this is one of those albums that I still enjoy, I admire. Pearl Jam's early years were my favorite, but this has got great songs. The one that really I remember when I first got there was Elderly Woman Behind the Counter, Small Town, Glorified G, and Indifference. Because they were killing it with Daughter on the radio. But Animal, that's a good one. They're all wonderful, man. So Pearl Jam's second album, Versus, 1993. I was listening to this, Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue. I believe this is the first one they recorded. They brought out without Lane Stanley. Came out with their new. I don't know the new guy's name, but you could tell, man. I mean, you could tell they have the sound. The sound is Jerry Cantrell, always has been. And they were kind of written off playing like real cheap shows and stuff because it wasn't, the original band. But another great album, Black Gives Way to Blue. A wonderful, man, can you see that? A wonderful, a wonderful album. If you're an Alice in Chains fan, you're definitely gonna have that. But what I thought was cool is Elton John plays on a track. I pulled this out the other day. Emmett Rhodes. This is a self-titled album on the Dunhill label. Early 70s. Let's see. I believe it was 1970, 71 maybe. A lot of people mistook this for being Paul McCartney. I believe this is probably around the Beatles breaking up. But another dreamy songwriter album that I enjoy. I pull it out every once in a while from time to time, and just get inspired by the sound, the production, and the songwriting on that. So Emmett Rhodes, check that out. This is a repress I just bought recently. It's been on my list of to gets for a long time, but you know, a lot of people, you say Christian psych, and they you think it's they kind of just dismiss it right away. But I think every Christian psych compilation and album that I have in my collection, I really dig. This came out a few years ago, but I believe it was first 1968, 69 maybe. But this is a repress, a numbered edition of 300. This is the Search Party, Montgomery Chapel. Like I said, it really has a really positive message, but again, you really feel that psychedelia on here. Century Records, I believe that was the original label. But this was a really nice press, one that I'm very glad to own. It's you can't find it very easily. I never see it, and I came across one not too long ago, so I picked this one up. And this is actually number 167 out of 300. I don't know if you can see that or not, but handwritten on there. But again, the whole vibe, sound, organ, instrumentation of this, very psychedelic. So yeah, the Search Party. This is one I was very happy to find. I found this and the next one together on a quick dig. I just stopped into one of my old stores, and I have never seen one of these on any of my digs through my history. I've only seen this in a book. I do have a book that I've been trying to get every release from that they put in this book, and I'm almost there. But this was one. This is the Fire Escape. Very great condition. Psychotic Reaction. Of course, it's the cover of who sang that? Psychotic Reaction. My mind's gone blank. I have the album. Count 5 maybe. Talk, The Trip. I like that song, The Trip. Trip Maker. I like that one. 96 Tears. The Trip is a Kim Fowley song. And Fortune Teller. That's another great song. But I like Trip Maker, man. This was 1960. Well, my crescendo, 1966, 67 maybe, 68, around that time. And this is on Crescendo, GNP Crescendo. A lot of you saw the Seeds albums on those. But I walked in there, man, and they had albums that, a dime a dozen, that they, this place, because it's a Beatles album, it's automatically $50. But I found this one, man, for like $9. I was like, what the fuck? So I picked it up. And this next one I paid a little bit more condition-wise, but every time I see these are pretty much trash. It's got a little ring wear, but even has the original price tag of $2.79. I paid a little bit more. This is the Pretty Things. I believe their second album, maybe their first album. This is the American release on Fontana. Another more blues, R&B, but definitely the blueprint of what was to come with the Pretty Things. I've got a few Pretty Things. I don't see many of them around, these early ones. More of the 70s, but definitely couldn't leave that behind. I saw it and I said, okay. So yeah, original price tag on there is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see that, $2.79. So I picked that up. Here's one that I don't ever think was released, but it was released on another one of my favorite re-release album, Outsider, and that's distributed by Gerson Records, I guess how you say it. That's another one of my favorite. So anything you see on Outsider or Gerson, definitely European. And this edition came out in 2014, but originally I believe it was recorded in 68, 69. And this is Children of the Mushroom. Great psychedelic record right here, man. I'm working on the lighting, so I apologize. I'm it's too white light in here, and I've got this lamp right there. But Children of the Mushroom, of course, you know. I remember when I heard about this band. It's been a few years, man. I've been listening to these. I've had this on a playlist for several years, but Children of the Mushroom, definitely that attracts my curiosity. So another one to get. So I know Derek. I know that you're inspired to get some of this stuff. So use this, man. Use this as a learning. If you don't know about them, man. Children of the Mushroom. Definitely. I like those kind of obscure psych records that are just kind of out there. Got this one. This is Neil Young's latest Songs for Judy. It's the archives. This is archive number 7. Kind of jumps around, but this is a concert, 1976. Just Neil and his guitar. If you look right there, you see Cameron Crowe. This is kind of the Almost Famous inspiration of that movie, Almost Famous. But great album. Neil's, you know, he's talking to the audience, probably a little. He's probably under the influence a little bit, but he plays like Heart of Gold, Too Far Gone, White Line, Love is a Rose, After the Gold Rush, Human Highway, Tell Me Why, Mr. Soul, Mellow My Mind, Sugar Mountain, Pocahontas, Needle in the Damage, and all those great Old Laughing Lady, Journey Through the Past, Man Needs a Maid, and so on. But yeah, Neil Young's latest Songs for Judy. I love it. Here's a bootleg, one of the 2 bootlegs. I haven't spun the other one yet, but definitely I love bootlegs from this group as a lot of my early inspirations. This is The Doors. I gotta do something about this lighting. Let me see. There, see that? The Doors. This one's called Whiskey, Mystics, and Men, Celebration of the Outtakes. This has got some stuff, you know, all the way LA Woman through pretty much all their albums. I mean, I finally got a version of Orange County Suite on vinyl. But very, very great press. This came out I don't know, several years ago, a few years ago, really. But this is one of 2 that I bought on a dig. So everything looks legit, the Elektra label and everything. But The Doors, still one of my favorite bands. Man, it sucks. I pulled this out. Listen to this. This is probably on the Lizard King's birthday. This is my original American Prayer, Jim Morrison poetry album, The Doors. Very inspired by this in my younger years. Nighttime driving, getting into a lot of psychedelic mischief with this being a soundtrack. Reading, you know, got us poetry books and books on the Doors, lyrics. Just really, really inspired me, and it still does, man. This came out 1978. This is a 1978 release. Came out many years after he passed away, but it was his poetry, and they set the music. I still dig it, man. I think they released this last year on Record Store Day or a couple years ago, but I love it, dude. An American Prayer, 1978. This is another this year's Record Store Day release. The Grateful Dead. This is playing in the band. This whole release is limited, of course. It's got 1 song, Playing in the Band. I thought I wasn't going to get this, man. I actually had to buy this online because, no, I didn't buy this online. My record store came through. They didn't get this on the day. They were tripped up for like 2 weeks, so they finally came in, and I headed out to Dallas. Definitely had to pick it up. Another great release for my Grateful Dead collection. This is Seattle, Washington, 1974, May 21st, 1974. Absolutely just great version of this song. So if you ever come across that, check it out. One of my favorite bands. I've been digging on this. This is a UK of the Hollies, Butterfly. Great psychedelic masterpiece. Graham Nash is still in the band, 1967. God, it's like this stuff is just passing in time so fast. So let me wrap this up, man. This is getting long. I know it's been a long time, so I pulled this out. One of my absolute favorite albums. This is the Plastic Ono Band, John Lennon, his first album after the Beatles or during the breakup. Very meaningful album in my soundtrack of my life. As a young man, I really embraced this and Electric Ladyland at the same time, and that was all I listened to. And I was really feeling the pain of what John was saying. You go through that, man. You go through that in life. And this is one of those albums that I carry with me, man. It's a big part of my life, and I'm never turn my back on it, because it never turned its back on me. And very, I'll never deny that this was a big inspiration for me. This is original on Apple Records, I think in 1970. So John Lennon. It's got Ringo on drums, Klaus, Billy Preston. Wonderful album. I picked up this one. Or no, I've had this one. No, did I pick this up? I picked this up sometime last year to complete my Orpheus collection. This is Joyful, 1969, I believe. I thought it was 68. I posted this on a site, and one of the members of Orpheus corrected me. So definitely, this is another one of those great albums that kind of took me by surprise. You always think these are kind of like sunshine pop psych, but this has its moments, and I really enjoy this one. I enjoy all their albums. They're all, a little different, but definitely belong in the psychedelia realm. This is 69, I said, on MGM, and this is one I'm glad to have in my collection. It's got the original, so yeah, check that out. You could find this one pretty cheap. And then I got two more here. This was the anniversary of Big Brother and the Holding Company, Cheap Thrills. This is what they wanted to name it originally, Sex, Dope, and Cheap Thrills. And so this is a expanded reissue. Wonderful, beautiful art. If you could see that. Too much glare, man. But yeah, double. This has got some pretty much just kind of I think this came with a download, but definitely collecting all these remasters. But this has got I think different versions of the original album, some live versions, and some jams and stuff like that. This came out last year, the end of last year, 2018, for the 50th anniversary. I've actually spent some time with Dave, Sam, and is it Peter? Back in the late 90s, I was reading a book called Buried Alive on Janis Joplin. A wonderful book. And then as everything came together, Big Brother and the Holding Company, that version of that band was playing at a small blues club in Deep Ellum in Dallas. So man, I got in the car and I drove all the way, and actually got to talk to these guys. I spoke mostly with Sam, man, and just he was such a beautiful, nice, wonderful, and just played. I remember I got there just a little bit late, man, and right when I walked in, man, they started Summertime, and I just melted on the floor, dude. And I had to go talk to him, and you know, Peter was pretty quiet. Dave was real nice, but Sam, I really was drawn to Sam, and we had a lot of interesting conversations that night, and just blew my mind. And they signed something for me. I've got somewhere in a book. And then the last one I want to show, I should have taken this out before. My friend that owns part owner of Good Records in Dallas, Texas. He actually came and he DJ'd my wedding, and I've known Chris for several years. And he's a huge Alice Cooper fan. He's actually friends with Alice Cooper, and I believe he met him when he was young kid. But he's responsible for this release. This came out on Record Store Day. This is the deluxe. I should have pulled that out, but I do have a fully autographed of the band of the 7-inch. But he was responsible for reuniting the original surviving group at his record store, and I'm sure you guys have heard the story. But the Alice Cooper band, and he released this. I'm so proud of him, man. This one's got a lot of goodies in it, man. But anyways, this is the special edition. But this is his, I believe, his biggest accomplishment in releasing. But this has got a lot of goodies, guitar picks, patches, stickers, a lot of these photos. But anyways, I've been jamming to that. It's very good, man. It's got they reunited in his record store. It started off with a book signing of Dennis Dunaway, and I was supposed to be here that night. I got tripped up on something. I didn't go, and it fucking pains my heart that I wasn't there. I'm not on this recording, but very proud. You kind of see it. That's inside the record store I go to sometimes. Limited release. I'm sure he's got some, so you can reach out and pick one up. But again, this is live from the AstroTurf, and he says live at the AstroTurf because he's got a stage, and it used to be green AstroTurf, but it's pink now for the Alice Cooper band. And every time I've seen Alice Cooper, there's Chris right in the front row with his kids. It's amazing the connections he has, man. I even seen a picture with him with Ozzy. So, anyways, check it out. But anyways, this is getting way too long. I just wanted to come back all at once. But this is a good start, I think. So, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the light wasn't too painful. And everybody take care. Have a good week. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.